On air, online, on demand. Watch AFR when you want, where you want with CN8, the Comcast network.
We'll begin with this report with Edwards, the Edwards affair. Under increased pressure from the media and from the Democratic Party leaders, John Edwards finally confessed to sleeping with a woman who was working on his campaign back in 2006. It has been a political bombshell. Here's correspondent Brian Todd now with more on the Edwards affair.
She's here with me.
Under increasing pressure from a story that had gone beyond the tabloids to serious discussion among Democratic Party chiefs, the former presidential candidate admits he had an affair with a woman who'd worked on his campaign. In a statement, John Edwards says he's ashamed and, quote, "In 2006, I made a serious error in judgment and conducted myself in a way that was disloyal to my family and to my core beliefs. I recognized my mistake, and I told my wife that I had a liaison with another woman, and I asked for her forgiveness." But Edwards denies he's the father of that woman's child and says he's willing to take a paternity test. During his presidential campaign this year, Edwards repeatedly denied that there was any truth to the story, initially calling it false and ridiculous. He issued another denial just 2 weeks ago.
Senator, I have a question. When you were running for president, you flat out denied having a relationship with Rael Hunter. Did you give me a truthful answer? Were you telling the truth then?
Yes.
Has you or your campaign provided any financial support to Rael Hunter or Andrew Young? Has you or anyone affiliated with your presidential campaign provided any financial help to Rael Hunter or Andrew Young?
I have no idea what you're asking about. I've responded to consistently to these tabloid allegations by saying I don't respond to these lies, and you know that, Raylene, you covered me, and I stand by that.
The woman, Rael Hunter, worked for Edwards as a freelancer, making web videos. She told the program Extra about her travels with Edwards.
One of the great things about John Edwards is that he's so open and willing to try new things and do things in new ways.
Edwards says his wife Elizabeth became aware of the relationship in 2006, not long after it began. Edwards reportedly tells ABC News that his wife's cancer was in remission when he began the affair. Elizabeth Edwards has, since then, developed an incurable form of cancer.
Joining me now to talk more about this by phone and the Edwards affair is Alan Butterfield. He's a senior reporter for the National Enquirer, and that was the paper that first reported the Edwards affair back in October of 2007. Alan, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Thanks for joining me on this. As it said in the report, this went from being some allegations in a tabloid to becoming a very serious story, and now we all know why. I understand that you were the reporter who actually cornered John Edwards in a bathroom of all places in California. Can you tell me about that?
Yes, we observed him around 9:45 one night going into her hotel on July 21st, Monday night. After waiting 5 hours, another reporter and myself, to make a long story short, he was coming out of the elevator. We hit him up and started asking him questions about his affair with Rael, about the love child, whether Elizabeth, his wife, knew about the affair and the love child. He didn't say anything. He made a mad dash to the men's room at the Beverly Hilton, and just by happenstance, security happened to be there to help another guest locate their key. And after about 15 seconds, called us off. And to make a long story short, 15, 20 minutes later, they shuttled him out of the hotel. We were guests of the hotel. He wasn't.
So he actually ran from you in a running fashion to the bathroom to try and get away.
Ran like a deer. He bolted down a set of stairs with his head down, like a running back, basically.
Yeah. When did you first get wind that something was going on here and that you guys might be really on to something?
Back last October when we first did our original story.
And how did that happen? What triggered it?
We had some tips and some emails, and I believe the person sent us some emails about the relationship from Rael or Riley, gal, who knows now. I've heard so many different pronunciations of her name, and then it came to then we had another tip that he had moved her to the Raleigh area, and she was pregnant. And we waited 15 days outside of a doctor's office, and we finally got shots of her visiting her OBGYN in mid-December. hit her up then, asked her questions. At first, she even denied she was Rael Hunter, and did a story, and then obviously, you know, the snake oil dealer, John Edwards, denied it, and then we heard... we would hear tips, and we'd hear stories about how he would meet with her at this Beverly Hilton. This was not the first time. He's met with her on other occasions, and we just happened to have a little bit more notice this time.
And you were able to get there.
Right.
In terms of the love child, she says now that she's not going to pursue a paternity test. It's been denied, and you know, I don't know where, quite frankly, it is right now. Did you all have any credible information as to the paternity of this child?
Well, I mean, we have very good sources that are telling us that it's Edward's baby. Rael has told everyone that she's never had a sexual relationship with this Andrew Young, who, you know, took one for the Team Edwards.
Said that
back
it was
in
his.
December. Yeah, saying it was his. I mean, he's happily married with 3 children. And, you know, the John Edwards story just doesn't... I mean, who would believe anything John Edwards says right now? If he told me the sun was coming up, would you believe him?
Well, he was caught, as he would say, red-handed in this case, where he outright denied this had happened and then later recanted and said, yeah, I made a mistake. And he says he's asked for forgiveness.
Oh, he's a liar. Yeah. I mean, you know, he's lied. He talked to us about tabloid trash, tried to be dismissive. And, you know, he lied to the American public last Friday night. Yeah. The relationship continued on. Why is it a year and a half after he supposedly ended his relationship? Why does he all of a sudden meet with her until 3 o'clock in the morning? It doesn't sound right, you know?
Is the Inquirer, and I'm short for time here, is the Inquirer done with this story, or do you guys plan to keep on digging in on this?
Oh, the fun has just begun.
Oh,
I mean, we have a lot of stuff that we have yet to publish, and we're still digging, and now people are coming out of the woodwork about what has gone on and what is going on, and, you know, he's still talking to her.
Right. Okay, well, John Allen Butterfield, thank you very much for sharing this story. As I said, this became a very big story, and it has captured all of the national headlines now. And as you just heard, there is more still to come on this from the National Enquirer. Allen Butterfield, senior reporter for the National Enquirer. Thank you very much.